We are live, people.
Keep getting close to that drop, son.
Yeah, I go live. YouTube, Facebook.
What's going on? What's going on, everyone? Happy, was it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Get lost in time on this stuff. What's going on, Antonio? How you doing? What's going on, Russ? Everybody jumping on this I Go Live. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube. Welcome back, fellow Bitcoiners, to another episode of the Gentlemen of Crypto, episode 21.
Oh,
we
yeah.
are getting up there. What's going
yeah.
on, Sumitra, Antonio, Bitcoin Vegan? What's up, everybody?
What's up? We drinking
Brian,
age today.
what's going on? How you doing out there? You said what?
We drinking age today.
There we go. Hey, we drinking age today. Hey, there we go. Episode 21. I'm King.
I'm Bitcoin Zay.
And, of course, we're here to talk about the market analysis, all the craziness in the Bitcoin space. Tons of fun, of course. Let's see. What we got going on today?
We got a good amount of stuff going on today. We'll kick it off with the conferences coming up. A lot of conferences coming up, but one of the biggest ones, which could, show what's the future for certain cryptocurrency, is Ripple.
Thanks, Russ.
And Swift. They're having their conference on the same day.
Same day, same
weekend,
place, same city,
yep.
Same everything.
Yeah, so it looks like competition-wise, they're like, hey, we're here, and we're here to disrupt. And there actually was an article about Swift where they were saying they shouldn't ignore the competition because they run it right now. But once people figure out they can do something cheaper, business owners usually run to that, and banks usually run to that. And then when you throw in that it's faster and more secure, that's just icing on the cake. So we'll see. Swift versus Ripple should be interesting.
Well, it was even crazy about that before this year. So I think the conference is like October. Here, let me pull up just to be sure. The conference is October 16th through 19th in Toronto, Canada, for anybody who wants to come. I believe Ripple actually has, was it the old chairman of the Fed coming to speak?
Yeah.
So Ripple spent some money to get a speaker in there for sure.
Yep.
But what's really interesting about it is that previous years, Ripple was at Swift's conference. They had a booth there. And actually this year, even though they're competing, even though Ripple is doing the conference in the same city at the same days, which is just so much disrespect all at one time. They are still having their own booth at the Swift conference. Like, Swift, why you even let them do this?
Yeah, that's like getting your rings for championship at a away game. Like,
right, exactly.
Total disrespect.
Yeah, I don't think for Swift, I know everybody's all about the money. I don't think I will let them do that, but whatever it's going to. So anyway, it's going to be Ripple versus Swift, same city. I don't know if Swift's going to have a booth at Ripple's conference, but Ripple definitely, they're making some boss moves. They said not only are they going to compete, they're going to be in the same building of them. Again, Ripple's conference is called Swell, SWELL. So basically all they're doing, both of these teams are bringing all the world's financial leaders together to network and discuss all the trends and strategies coming up. Again, Swift and Ripple, they're both used by big banks, so they're centralized. I mean, however, from a business perspective, as far as making money, there is money to be made. I mean, Ripple, you could already made money because it was like less than a penny beginning of this year. It's like at 20-some cents now. But moving forward, if banks do adopt this, instead of doing their old way of international monetary transfers, if they use one of these guys, then while it will be centralized, it'll be for the banks, but it's still money to be made. It's early, it's less than $1, less than 50 cents, less than a quarter. So again, like I always say, why not just throw $100 in there, $50 in there, $200 and see what happens in 2 or 3 years. So.
Yeah. And the utility's already there. That's one good thing about them.
That is a good thing.
They have a high market cap, and they're already using banks, or banks are already using them, I should say, internationally, over 50 right now. So.
And while I will give Swift, because I think it's Swift who's bringing them in. Like I said, Ripple's bringing in the old chairman of the Fed, and I believe Swift is bringing in one of the creators of the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee. So a lot of high-profile people in the same building. Again, from just a crypto, the space position as far as being decentralized. This is not the building you want to be in. However, just from a business perspective, they're tricking all the guys off Wall Street right now. So why not get some of that money with them,
Yeah, they just throw blockchain in there or anything in there.
You throw blockchain in there, you hire some keynote speakers, get a bunch of other wealthy people in the same place and make a lot of money.
Yeah, it's already the system,
Yeah, Swift is the system banks use right now, yes. But everything's being disrupted. So
yeah, absolutely.
And Ripple is opening offices everywhere. They had one. They just opened one up this past month in, I think, Mumbai, London, UK. They're getting offices. They're getting all that. So they're getting big everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's good news though. I like the competition.
I love the competition. Let's see who beats it out. Hey, you know what? I have a little bit of both, so whatever happens, happens. I'm happy. There, it's gonna be a first place and a second place, so it's all good. So what's going on with going back to the institutional guys? What's going on with Goldman Sachs?
Well, yesterday, Lloyd Blankfein.
Green.
Yeah, Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, aka Paul Giamatti Face, he tweeted out that he's thinking about Bitcoin still. It was kind of like I don't know, it was like a short haiku to Bitcoin, sort of. He was like, thinking about Bitcoin, I'm not for it, not against it. I just know that, people were scared when paper money was introduced versus gold. So
we talked about that yesterday.
And
are you watching? Hey, what's his name?
Yeah.
What's the guy name?
Lloyd Blankfein.
Hey, Lloyd, are you watching this right now, Lloyd? There we go. We got bankers watching us. We're making it.
Hey, man. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny, hearing CEOs talk about it, even still, like we've heard it the last couple weeks, but they're, like we said yesterday, they're fighting amongst each other. They have to, because he's, in my opinion, already invested in it. They've already introduced the trading desk. Yeah, the trading desk is already, they put the news out, and because it was such a good response, I'm pretty sure they're going forward with it. So I feel like now he's just kind of stoking the flames, waiting for a good entry point, and then we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, that tweet was well received by bank people, but for crypto people, it was kind of like a running joke. Like, yeah, I mean, come on, man.
You're late to the party.
Yeah, you're super late, but
you just have more money than everybody. So
yeah, exactly. I wonder, if these bankers outside of in 2008 when the crash happened, do they talk to each other on a regular basis? Because if so, they're gonna have more fights than we've had with Segwit, with 2x, with Bcash. They're gonna have way more battles than that. They got trillions on the line. So
yeah,
they disagree on that. Like, say for instance, JP Morgan is like, nah, we're never doing crypto stuff just to save face. And then Goldman Sachs is like, well, you're stupid, because we are. You're gonna see a lot of customers leave just because, that's how some people operate. But once people realize the real of cryptocurrency, they'll realize bankers are just, doing what they've done before, in my opinion.
Wow.
So,
well, big shout out to Goldman Sachs CEO, I guess. He's kind of on board, but not really. But, at least he's putting his case. I think, like you said, they're just scared to come out they're scared to come out and say the truth. Like, that is why I like crypto, people. I saw this in the military as well, when you get a lot of high-ranking people, officers and enlisted. They're scared to speak their mind. They're like, well, I'm at 19 years and need this retirement. And, like, you got bankers who are literally worth multimillionaires, some billionaires, and they are still scared to take a stance because of what could happen to their career. Yeah. Like, come on. That you talk about being shook. What way is that to live? But
yeah, I couldn't do it. If you're a multi-million-dollar Series 7 trader and you're worried about your future, then you way too
probably
scared.
aren't that good.
I would say you way too
and
scared.
I know you're corrupt now,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like, what if this is how you act in the public of as far as taking a position on something that the numbers make sense, the technology makes sense, but you're still scared to at least say, hey, I think this might be the next thing, or maybe it's not, whatever. At least I give Dinosaur Diamond that. We know he's doing some back end trading, but at least he's coming out and taking a side. I mean, good gracious, you're worth millions of dollars. You guys are in your 40s, 50s, and you're still scared to stand up. Yeah. Wow, would have never want to be in that position ever.
Yeah, and Antonio is saying, they're gonna get left behind. Yeah, technology always pushes the train forward, and everybody else in the other carts, you just pull them along with you, and hopefully they realize the game and they'll join the party at some point. But even if they don't, technology is always going to push it forward, no matter what, because it drives demand. So
Bitcoin Vegan said he once talked to a banker who was scared to take a stance because he said it wasn't regulated. And you know what? Once again, that's funny. People always go back. Well, the law says the laws aren't made off moral authority, people. I mean, I wish they were, but they simply aren't made. History shows that. I mean,
it's a lot of free people who ask people to regulate them.
Right.
I don't understand that. But
it used to be like, it was damn near illegal to be Jewish back in the German days, So are you one of those people? That's my question to bankers. Would you been one of those people like, well, it's illegal to help the Jews, live? Or would you have been like, well, I got to follow the law. Same in the States. Well, slavery, I don't want to break the law. So
break the law. Yeah.
So you know, right now, well, they're saying it's not regulated. It's not the law. Well, duh, they're not going to give away the money.
Yeah. And on top of that, the regulations are written by people in back rooms who you've never met, who donate to these people. So when laws are made, you don't have a hand in these laws. Especially if you, like I said, most people are born into these laws. I didn't agree to most of this stuff.
That is true.
I was born and this stuff was here. So, I mean, regulation-wise, I don't have a regulator. You know what I mean? I mean, some people choose to say, yeah, I want to go to regulations and go with blah, blah, blah. I understand, but at the same time, you know, regulations stifle innovation, in my opinion.
It's like that cartoon meme I saw where it's like one little small, it's a small gate with one little opening.
Oh yeah.
And then it's the gate's not connected to anything. The rest is just free fields and free space.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like thousands of sheep trying to get through that one little inches of the gate when really all they had to do is like it's free space to walk.
Yeah. Just go to the other way.
So I think this is the same thing with bankers, even with our population, not just here abroad too. Though I will give a lot of credit to a lot of people abroad, because they're taking the plunge. They're like, all right, I mean, we don't have anything to lose, but yeah, it's like everybody's trying to squeeze through this gate here. We're like, well, this is the way it's done. And it's like, you do realize this other stuff works. We are telling you it works, but
yeah. And I've seen blockchain and Bitcoin commercials now. So at this point, if you haven't really even heard of it, you are either under the biggest rock ever, or like I said, you just haven't, you know, come around to the changes that's coming. I mean, you gotta expand that mind. You gotta expand it at least a little bit.
All right, back to the hacks. We have to talk hacks again, people. So 2013, you know, it was reported Yahoo was hacked, a bunch of email addresses. 2014, more news came out a little bit more. As of recently, Verizon Wireless, of course, bought Yahoo for like, I think 4.8 billion. It's way undervalued, or so it seemed, until, hey, who's going to air it? Until Verizon did their due diligence, and they found out that now the number of compromised accounts far exceeded what had been reported. They were saying it was over 3 billion, and basically every Yahoo account was compromised. And I know people with Yahoo accounts as early as this year. Crypto Q in the house, what's up? I know Yahoo accounts as early as this year from people who were telling me they were getting hacked. And my only thing to them was like, you still have a Yahoo?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I have an AOL one, but that's like, that is just for literally junk. When I go to one of these like grocery stores or something. Yeah, when I go to a grocery store or something, or a clothing store, and they're like, oh, we need an email address. I'm like, all right, this is the one that's no infected. You can have that one. Like,
oh yeah. But I'm sure they have fun looking at my MySpace password.
Right, exactly.
From 04.
If you're using your Yahoo password or AOL, what else? Hotmail. I still see Hotmails out there. If you're using any of those for actual business, like, get away now.
Yeah, I was say Hotmail is for backpage people. That's what I heard. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know.
Serious,
I mean, honestly, with the Yahoo hack, following, you know, the Equifax hack, as we've seen, they will delay the information. So for those of you who think it's safe, you may have been compromised already. You won't find out till 2018.
Somebody said you might as well have Netscape. Seriously, if you have any of those, you might as well have Netscape. So yeah, like you said, this is from 2013, and this news is just coming up, people. All right.
Yeah.
So as a refresher, I know I said I'd do it last week. I'm almost finished with it. I actually do this. I got the security article I'm gonna bring out, but as a refresher, anything that's been hacked, everything you have has been compromised, people. So if you have a Yahoo password, you have to assume your entire laptop is compromised. If you log onto your phone, your entire phone is compromised. Just assume that. And I know you can't do all this stuff overnight, but begin to make those changes of getting a new computer, of getting a new cell phone, or taking that computer and cell phone to a cybersecurity expert or to a computer store and have them scan the virus. Don't download a program and do it yourself.
Yeah.
Take it somewhere and have a professional scan that virus. Does it cost a lot? Yes, but there's a reason why it costs a lot, because they know what they're doing. They're going to do a good job. I told you before, I've been through it before as well with the hacks and stuff. I literally gave my laptop to a cybersecurity expert and had him run through it, okay? He was like, good to go. It's stuff they can do. I don't understand it, believe me, but I watched him do it. I don't know how he accessed certain parts of my computer, and he was just reading coding and script. He was like, no, you're good on this, you're good on that, you're good on that. Have somebody do it, people. It's worth the money, for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's see.
And with that hack news, with Equifax, apparently, incompetence gets awarded when you have a big
Right.
enough company, because they just got awarded a no contest contract from the IRS to secure their data, even though they just got hacked. $7.5 million contract. So obviously,
I mean, when you're too big to fail, that's where you want to get people. You want to get like a big bank, big company, get too big to fail, and the government will bail you out and award you money.
Oh yeah, and that's the difference between centralized and decentralized.
That is the difference between
That's what we're trying to explain to people, is that's the fight. When it's centralized, when so many people, remember, they don't have business without customers, but if you don't have a choice, then that's the issue right there, because if you have to use them, if you have to get validated through them, then they have a server with 100 million or a billion different people's information, and when they get hacked, everybody's compromised, and they don't get punished for it. Nobody was sent to jail. Nobody.
In fact, I want to know what happened to those execs who pulled their money like 3 or 4 days before the news.
Yeah.
For those who, Tonio, no, we don't use VPNs 24/7, but on certain platforms and certain sites we go to, we will use it all the time.
Yeah. I use it for everything but Netflix. It won't work.
Basically.
That's
because the streaming is slower.
Yeah.
If you have the stream, it's not good to use, but if you don't have the stream, it's good to use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, I mean, going back to that, like, Equifax, their CEOs, if you remember, literally 2 or 3 days before they announced the news, they pulled their shares. They sold their shares. They made their money.
Yeah.
No one's going to jail over this. Like, that is amazing to me, but such is life. But I tell you who the U.S. is trying to take to jail, which goes, again, if you've been watching us throughout the weeks or whatever, Alexander Vinnik, I believe his name is, Vinnik. The Russian who is allegedly in charge of BTCE, the exchange, which allegedly may have laundered money all the way back from 2014 with, what was it, Mt. Gox hack. The U.S., not too long ago, I think it was in August. It was August, right before August 1st. So it was what's before August? May, July. So late July, the U.S. working with Greece authorities arrested Finnick while he was on vacation. They said, he was a mastermind behind BTCE, who, of course, supposedly, laundered the money from Mt. Gox hack. We're talking excess of $4 billion worth of Bitcoin. Of course, like I said, Greece arrested him. He's being held in Greece. He's trying to get extradited to Russia. Russia is still pressing similar charges, but lesser on him. But of course, the U.S. wants him. I, made the conspiracy theory like, hey, when the U.S. took some of that money or whatever, took that Bitcoin, it was before August 1st, before that Bitcoin cash split. Yeah. What happened to it, who knows? But anyway, the U.S. wants him extradited here. Russia wants him back. So right now, we're waiting on the Supreme Court of the United States to decide what we're going to do with him. What's interesting to me is, once again, Bitcoin cryptocurrency exchanges, this is an international market. So even speaking as a U.S. citizen, speaking as a military, military officer, how is the U.S. allowed to bring him here? If anything, he might have did an international crime, because at the time of 2014 in Mt. Gox, the United States definitely were not the only people trading on it. It was traded by everybody,
China, big
globally. If anything, China should bring them in. So I'm kind of baffled on how the United States is taking the front. We need to bring them here and have it, which again makes me believe my conspiracy theory, because I'm like, why are we leading the charge on this? Let's lead the charge on these Equifax CEOs. Let's lead the charge on these bankers. Let's lead the charge on Dinosaur Diamond and his fraudulent claims in the Bitcoin. Let's lead the charge on those people. I don't care what's going on out there. Let's lead the charge here. And of course, $4 billion. This isn't making mainstream news. Don't know why.
Yeah, they're not going to put it out there. Somebody said the government has a lot of Bitcoin. That's funny. For those of you who don't believe in the hold strategy, they sold Bitcoin when they took the Bitcoins from Silk Road. They had 140,000 Bitcoins, I believe. And they decided to sell it back then.
I believe Tim Draper?
Yeah.
He got it?
Well, he got the auction off.
He got the auction.
But they had their own that they sold. They made around 40 million, 35 million, something like that. But if they would have held to today, it would have been in excess of $100 million. So we're talking about 2 years that if they would have held it, it would have been totally different. They would have tripled from where they were. So as far as the U.S. having a lot of Bitcoins.
Supposedly so.
Yeah, supposedly so, yeah. But they probably do. I don't know exactly what they're doing with it or what they're going to do, but.
And it costs what? I think they sold it at like $328 or something a Bitcoin at the time. Again, today I think it's at $4,300. Like Crypto Q keeps saying, free Ross Ulbricht. was the gentleman behind, or allegedly behind, Silk Road. Of course, he got life in prison. He's still serving that right now. And he was I guess he had to forfeit almost like $160 million to $100 million worth of money, which he tried to do using the Bitcoin they confiscated. But somehow this week, actually, I think it was yesterday or today, it was double life. Okay, he got double life. The last couple of days, he came out and signed something where he said, forget about the money or whatever. Like, he's allowing the U.S. to take the seized money, which is once again interesting of why he would do that. Yeah. But that's a whole.
I want to hear him say it.
I want to hear him say he did that.
They could get him in the interrogation room. Is like, say something else, and basically just force him to say it. So.
In addition to that Silk Road, because you remember this was the time where that media attention did get on Bitcoin. There's like it's used for drugs and it's used for weapons and all that and terrorists. One thing mainstream media kept forgetting to report on, even when they caught Ross Ulbricht, was how they caught him. Yeah. We caught him by two dirty agents. A dirty DEA agent who I believe is still in prison now, who stole millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin from him. And I believe it was a dirty Secret Service agent as well who stole money, and they helped or possibly arranged killings of other people on behalf of Ross. So this thing reached a way broader spectrum than just one actor, and he was the only person who got that double life sentence. So again, this is the stuff that does not breed confidence in the system when other people are getting away from it. So.
And I was saying when it happened, the government only takes things, or people in the government, they only take stuff that's valuable. That's kind of what confirmed it back in 2014, 15 for me, was they steal big stuff. They go to countries, we steal resources, gold, oil, heroin, whatever we need to make a lot of money.
Heroin.
Yeah, Afghanistan. I mean, it's just funny. 10 years ago, 10 years ago, we went to Afghanistan 10 years ago, and then all of a sudden we have a heroin epidemic 10 years later. So anything,
that's a good point.
Anything that's valuable, we will find it, we will take it, and
somebody said
Bitcoin, air. Somebody's, I mean, not even joking. Somebody is trying to, not air though, but somebody's trying to limit. Who is it? The guy from Nestle. He's trying to get a government contract to make water a privilege. So if there's anything valuable, food, I mean Monsanto, if it's valuable, they will take it over. And as we see with Bitcoin, no different. If they want to try, they can. But water, that's probably the most decentralized resource there is. But we'll see.
So that is why decentralization is important. Other than that, people, it's a slow news day. Most of the news we saw is a bunch of people speculating on Bitcoin's going to go up or down $300 today or whatever, or tomorrow, next couple of days. Of course, there's a lot of people out there contradicting themselves. You see it in the news all the time. So right now, same old. Like I said, the extradition of Finnick, that is something you do want to pay attention to, because we're talking about an excess of $4 billion worth of Bitcoin. $4 billion worth of Bitcoin, people. I want to know what happens to that money and where is it going, period. And that's something, like I said, news isn't even covering. And then, like I said, Ross Ulbricht from Silk Road, he came out and forfeited his Bitcoin and supposed money. Not sure why he did that again. He's already facing life sentences or double life. But so that's all that's really going on today. Who got the free Bitcoin yesterday is my question.
The free Bitcoin is going to Zan Talukder. I hope I said that right. He had a good comment about decentralized exchanges, BCO, or Crypto Bridge, sorry. They use BCO. If you invest in it, you actually get 50% of the transactions on the exchange, which is interesting. Didn't know that. I have to do my due diligence more on that. But like I said, decentralized exchanges are finding ways to entice people to use it. And I think that is one good way, is rewards program for people who use it. Because if Bittrex awarded you, 50% or 20% of all the transaction volume to all their users, I mean, you can only imagine how much money they would make off of that. So that's our winner from yesterday.
And someone just asked about our thoughts on the SegWit 2X.
Well, right now, doesn't have a lot of support. And that'll be what we do for the free Bitcoin today. I'll give my opinion, but comment with your public address. What do you think about SegWit 2X? Me personally, I'm not really with it. As far as the longest chain of Bitcoin and what's going forward, I still want to use the core devs that we have currently, and I don't want to see a split for 2X when there's no really support behind it except for a few big companies. and a few big name people. That's the reason Bitcoin was created. It's so 12 people can't join together and say, oh yeah, we're gonna change it. So yeah, I'm not really with it right now. If something else changes, we'll see. But nah, I'm good.
And basic understanding of SegWit 2x, segregated witness.
Yes, 2x, that is 2 megabyte blocks, which is the size, or I shouldn't say size, but that's the size of the blocks every 10 minutes when they come out, meaning that it increases the amount of transactions, speed, things of that nature, supposedly. But SegWit solved that problem already, so we don't need an increase in that transaction size, in my opinion. So
you hear it for the free Bitcoin. Go ahead and give your thoughts on the SegWit 2x, what you think, put that public address. You know, I think bottom line, whether we have it or we don't, Bitcoin, gold, all these things, at least they're trying to make Bitcoin better. I'll say that. Everything's trying to make it faster, stronger, and all that. So of course, you know, this is the ugly time we're going through. We said it yesterday, and this is that growth period. Whenever you're growing, you know, you have to go through it, that transformation. So Bitcoin is going through that transformation, and it's only good days ahead. All right, it's pretty short. We don't have much today. Like I said, it wasn't a lot of news. Happy Bitcoining.
Oh yeah.
Take care.